Hey there, folks. Adam going live. Brendan's in the background as well, too. And much of the team is back there as well, too. How's everybody doing? We're in for it again. I might sound a little hoarse right now, and that's because I just got over like a 5-day cold. It was brutal. My son actually ended up with a minor pneumonia as well, too. He's doing better now. I feel much better today. I still sound like this. Some coughing and all that stuff, but I feel 1,000 times better than I did even a few days ago. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So Brendan's done some incredible maps as always. We're going to go through all of his maps. Blizzard conditions are possible. Let's take a quick look here at Instant Weather Pro, and we can see some different environment Canada. On the radar, just a little bit of snow happening. Looks like a little bit of snow going through parts of Barrie and areas east and southeast of Georgian Bay. This is nothing compared to what's coming up. But if you look up here, so our friends in Brit, Parry Sound, Carling, 7 Mile Narrows, MacTier, Port Carling, Bala, I believe Go Home's in here. Yeah, our friends at Go Home. Yeah, that's right. Port Severn, Big Chute, Bardsville, Bent River, all of these areas, Bear Cave, Edgington, Dufferin Bridge, Whitestone, Harris Lake. You're all in what looks to be a blizzard warning. So we don't see those too often. Typically, we see a lot of snow squall warnings around here, but we're going blizzard warning. The reason is that the winds are going to be ridiculous. We're going to go through the models, and we're going to talk about the wind gusts, and they are ridiculous. Some of the models are talking about the elevated areas. Down the escarpment are talking about 70 mile per hour winds, which based on my chart is 112.65 kilometers an hour. Can you imagine trees coming down in the winter from a windstorm? That's pretty rare. We don't see that very often, but it seems like it's possible. We could have some trees coming down, knocking out power, all that kind of stuff in the middle of blizzard conditions. So not a great situation for those who are up here. Now, mind you, this blizzard warning is just a few inches away. I mean, literally on the doorstep of Bracebridge, who has been pummeled this winter. So is Gravenhurst as well, too. Not too far from Gravenhurst here. I mean, this is just an arbitrary line. You know, it's an arbitrary line. Can blizzard conditions move from here over to here? You betcha. So we're going to have to see how this does play out. But right now, Environment Canada has the preemptive blizzard warning for Parry Sound and surrounding areas. And let's just go through those details really quick for them. Brendan's got a map of where the blizzard conditions are likely across more areas. A big thing, too, it's not necessarily, this happened out in Manitoba as well, too. It's not necessarily the amount of snow falling. It's the fact that the winds are going to be so ridiculously strong that we're going to see whiteout conditions. This is happening out in Manitoba. It was like, wow, we don't see, like, Winnipeg was in a blizzard warning. We're like, we don't see much in the ways of snowfall. And then we took a look at the winds and went, oh, okay. All that snow that fell in Barrie this morning, it's going to get blown around big time. And not just Barrie, but surrounding areas. But I'm just, from my personal perspective in Barrie here, all that snow that fell this morning is going to get blown around big time. So just because Barrie's not necessarily getting a ton of snow doesn't mean the conditions aren't going to deteriorate drastically with the wind. So the wind can really do a number, even with not that much snowfall coming down. So areas to the north, though, getting quite a bit of snowfall. So it's, they're going to be in it for sure. So blizzard warning, conditions expected Monday. Dangerous blizzard conditions due to a combination of snow and blowing snow. Snowfall amounts of 10 to 20 centimeters. So that's only 10 to 20 centimeters which is nothing compared to what we've seen this season. But 10 to 20 centimeters plus 90 kilometer an hour winds. 80 kilometers with a few gusts to 90 kilometers possible along the shoreline. Monday morning into Monday evening for that particular area. Areas to the south are going to be a little bit later towards the evening. The really strong winds come in the evening for sure, and it's going to be pretty intense. So, Monday A sharp cold front will come through Monday evening, which could produce near zero visibility and bursts of heavy snow and blowing snow, along with a sharp temperature drop. Travel along Highway 400, 69 may be dangerous at times. The maybe, it's probably going to be quite dangerous at times. Travel is expected to be hazardous due to reduced visibility. Yeah, so when visibility is zero, it can be pretty dangerous out there. So there's that. Anyways, so let's take a look at what else we have in these different areas. Let me see here. Let me just crank my map. Wind warning, actually, which is, again, we don't often see wind warning. So wind warning for Kincardine, Port Elgin, Chelsea, Owen Sound, Wyerton, Meaford. The main story here is going to be the wind, for sure. The wind is the main story. You're adding some snowfall to that, adding a sharp temperature drop. But the big time story is going to be the winds are going to be bananas. Which, again, is in the wintertime, it's pretty rare to see winds this intense in this area. Not out of the question, though. We've had it before, but it's not the most common thing. If I start coughing randomly, again, I just got over a 5-day thing. So, anyways, but I'm back. That's right. I'm back. Huge thanks, by the way, side note, to Anthony at Rinaldi Salon for cutting my hair. It was very kind of him for our band photo shoot. So, yeah, they've coerced me into joining their band, but their band's awesome. So I ended up joining. Remember, I was playing, and if you remember in the previous live stream, I was talking about going up to Bracebridge to play a show with them. I played so many shows with them. I'm like, I guess I'm pretty much just in your band at this point. So, yeah, so they're called Face the Lion, and I am now in their band. But Anthony happens to be a master hairdresser, and he cut my hair. So huge thanks to Anthony at Rinaldi Salon in Barrie. Tobermory, Dyer Bay, Northern Bruce Peninsula, Lions Head, all the way down to Owen Sound, all the way down here to Kincardine, South Bruce, Walkerton, Bradley areas, Thornbury, Meaford, Beaverdale, and Big Bay, Wyerton. All those areas inside of a wind warning. So pretty rare seeing a wind warning in the winter, but it happens. So, and we're going to take a look again. And Brandon's maps are brilliant. We're going to take a peek at them. And Joanne says, I love Rinaldi Salon. Awesome. Sweet. I'll tell Anthony you said hi. We also have I believe this is a big special weather statement over here, or weather advisory. That's what it is. Okay. So for Bracebridge and Gravenhurst, who have been pummeled this season, they're in a weather advisory at this point in time. We'll see if that changes. Significantly reduced visibility and blowing snow. They're expecting the same accumulation of snow for those areas, but the strong wind gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour. I mean, 70, 80, 10 kilometer an hour difference. And we've gone from a blizzard warning to a weather advisory. So we'll see if that changes. It's possible they'll extend the blizzard warning. This is where they're starting at this point in time. And there is a blizzard warning up here as well, too, I believe. Yes. So Sault Ste. Marie area is going to be brutal. So strong wind gusts to 80 kilometers an hour, but 20 to 40 centimeters. So they're getting a lot more snow. And the winds are going to be pretty much up there, maybe slightly weaker than the 90 or more that we're expecting down to the south. But yeah, so Sault Ste. Marie area all the way up here to Wawa. And it's going to be pretty nasty. It's going to be nasty. So, yeah, let's take a look again at Brendan's maps. Oh, I did want to actually take a peek down here. Let's take a look at actually a few different areas. So if we take a look down here at the Niagara region, I also want to take a look at Eastern Ontario too. So let's actually go see. So there's no alerts in place right now for the Ottawa region at the moment. There is a snow squall watch for like a lot of Quebec. I wonder if that's an error potentially. That's probably an error because that snow squall watch covers pretty much all of Quebec. So probably an error. We got to look into that. That seems a little bit expansive. I think that might be a slight problem. Brennan's already typing. So yeah, I think that might have been, we had issues before with some of the Quebec alerts where, because there's Quebec City and Quebec, that's likely correct with a frontal squall. Oh, really? So this, like almost the entire province, really? That's right. That's correct. That's the biggest snow squall watch I've ever seen in my life. That is massive. If that's correct, yeah, maybe it's correct. I don't know. I guess I'll take a peek, but I'm automatically assuming it's a glitch. We've had some issues with Quebec alerts before, so I'm like, yeah, it's probably an issue. But if that's true, that is ridiculous. Somebody can double check that one. Yeah, big one coming in. Yeah, I guess so. All right. So, anyways, but yeah, right now in Eastern Ontario, nothing in the north, but to the south here, special weather statement for Cornwall, for Brockville, for Kingston, all the way to Peterborough, and Aurelia. By the way, Brennan, that is a huge squall. You're right. It does go. Oh, that squall goes. Oh, I see. That is a massive squall. I saw some of that, but that looks ridiculous. Okay, we'll have to look at that on the model. So that is a huge squall. Brennan's right. That is like the largest snow squall watch in history. Don't quote me on that, but if there's a bigger one than that, I don't think I've ever seen a snow squall watch that large in one province in my life. Okay, so that's something. And this special weather statement goes all the way down into southwestern Ontario, actually, all the way down to Chatham, Kent. Of course, Windsor gets left out on this one, but I mean, that doesn't mean you're going to get entirely left out. You're going to probably experience the winds. They're going to be pretty blustery. Sarnia gets left out as well, too. I know our team member Miranda is going to be upset about that. But we do have the special weather statement that goes all the way down into southwestern Ontario, all the way over to Cornwall. That's also a massive special weather statement, too. Jade had a good question. Who's keeping their kids home in Barrie? Well, that's the thing. So Brennan pointed out to me the timing of the strong winds and the timing of the really strong squall line is actually more towards the evening hours. So let's actually take a look at that. Let's see here. So there's a lot of questions coming in the comments. Oh, there is a wind warning for Picton, for Prince Edward County, for Belleville, Cobourg, and Brighton area, and Greater Napanee. So, and let's take a look down at the Niagara region as well, too. I believe that's a wind warning as well. Yep. So the classic areas for the wind warnings, Welland, St. Catharines, Niagara Falls, Dunnville, Port Colborne, Cayuga, Hagersville, Waterford, Simcoe, Langton, not Simcoe County, but Simcoe, the town. Langton, Turkey Point, Delhi as well. Is it Delhi? Delhi? Forget. I always get that wrong. Everybody gives me a hard time about it. But I'm playing the sick card on this one. My brain is foggy. Okay. Oh, here we go. Caffeinated Mum. If I can bring her up her comment. She says, in Kincardine, we have a lot of snow and the wind off the lake is already causing whiteout conditions. So this hasn't even started yet, really. And it's already not great in Kincardine. So Delhi. Oh, it was Delhi. I got it right the first time. Hey, see, it actually got drilled into my brain the last 11 years. We've been 12 years now. We're going to go into our 12th year this April. This April, we're going into our 12th year. Wow. And after it took 11 years for me to finally pronounce Delhi correctly. So, hey, I did it naturally. You've all done very well by drilling that into my brain over all this time. Slowly but surely. It takes me about a decade, but I'll pronounce your town correctly after a decade. That's how it goes. Sean says, how about New Tecumseh? Or New Tecumseh. So, did I pronounce that wrong? New Tecumseh? You mean Alliston? Yeah, you're in the special weather statement at this point in time. That special weather statement is pretty broad, and it may change as we get to different areas. But if I look in southwestern Ontario, strong southwesterly winds developing Monday afternoon, winds gusting up to 70 or 80 kilometers an hour. So the strong winds are going to be blasting across most of the region. It's we could see down trees, a windstorm in the winter. Okay, it is. Let's go to Brendan's maps because they're pretty cool. I want to check these out. This one is exceptionally cool, actually, because he's added these lines to dash out what the timing might be probably for the worst conditions. He labeled it as blizzard start time. Yeah, and I think it's more. It'll get worse towards the evening hours, but I guess this would be the earliest that things will start to deteriorate pretty bad. But let's take a look at this here. So all the way up into, and this is a cool map. He did a hybrid map here where I know the folks in Northern Ontario always get mad because we do these like zoomed in maps on Southern Ontario. And they're always like, how come you're not including, Timmins and Sudbury and everybody else? And it's like, this is a pretty big province. So it's hard to have everybody in on one map. But Brennan did a pretty cool thing here where he did a little hybrid zoomed out. He actually spent a lot of time I believe it was in the fall, Brennan. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but he spent a lot of time getting it so this map works across Canada and he can zoom in and out as he wishes to, depending on the situation. So a huge thank you to Brendan on that one because I know he spent a lot of time, Anyways, which is good though because he has it now, so he can like blend provinces together. He can do whatever he wants. So it's really cool. So if we take a look to the top, Sault Ste. Marie. If you look at the labels below, blizzard likely is in the red. And so we've got Sault Ste. Marie down to about Elliott Lake. You're right on the edge of it. Manitoulin Island over to Parry Sound. Of course, that's where the blizzard warning is. Bracebridge is in there. Huntsville's in there. Aurelia's in there. Barrie's in there. And Orangeville, Owen Sound, and Kincardine and Tobermory are in there as well too. But remember, we're talking more towards the evening hours for the areas in the south. So for Barrie, for example, I'm being a little biased because I live in Barrie. Right now, it looks like somewhere between 4 and 6 p.m. is when it's going to start. So maybe like 5-ish is when it's going to start deteriorating. So chances of a snow day tomorrow for Barrie. My son was not very happy tonight because I was like, I think you might get a snow day tomorrow. I probably shouldn't have done that. That was a terrible. I set the expectation way too high. And then I'm like, Brennan's map is blue and you're like 25%. He's like, what? 25 still possible? I'm like, man, it's probably like put a spoon under your pillow, but it doesn't seem very, very likely. But we'll see. We'll see. Remember, we have zero authority when it comes to snow day cancellations. So that's up to the school boards. That is up to the bus companies. That is up to the parents if they want to keep their kids home. So we have no authority. We just making our best forecast and we'll see what happens. But it's based on the fact that the worst conditions are not coming toward until the evening. It is quite possible that Barrie will not have a snow day tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. But Parry Sound, that's a different story. Bracebridge, potentially a different story as well too, because school will still be on as those conditions are moving in. So if we start from the top, Sault Ste. Marie is going to be in it by 8 a.m. So we typically don't do a snow day forecast for Northern Ontario, bus cancellation forecast for Northern Ontario, but the fact that Sault Ste. Marie is going to be into blizzard conditions by about 8 a.m. means, it's probably a snow day up there, but don't quote me on it. Elliott Lake probably in there as well too. Sudbury is in the orange, which is blizzard possible, but based on the fact that we just had a report that Kincardines already not great with the blowing snow, and this hasn't really even started yet, means I have a feeling it's going to be not great for tomorrow. But if we continue to look at the red here, so let's go through the red areas and timing. So Parry Sound should be probably in the afternoon. Maybe earlier than that as well too. The models are shifting a bit with the timing, so maybe a little bit in the afternoon, but we'll see. But like 2 p.m.-ish for Parry Sound, and North Bay is probably already in there by sometime in the afternoon. Sudbury, sometime in the morning. North Bay, sometime in the morning, afternoon. So Manitoulin Island's probably in there by late morning, early afternoon, probably more towards the morning hours. I have a feeling it's gonna be looking worse earlier than we think here, but we'll see. Algonquin Park area, and then if you look through the orange, let's go through the orange areas as well too. So Sudbury, North Bay, Algonquin Park, Bancroft, Peterborough is right on the edge of the orange. Smith Falls is right on the edge of the orange. Cornwall, Brockville, Kingston, Belleville. Let's see who else here. Niagara, Hamilton, Kitchener. Yeah, Kitchener's right inside the orange, barely inside the orange. And Guelph. Actually, sorry, Guelph is actually inside the red. And Goderich as well, too. So those particular areas that are in the blizzard possible area. Let's talk about the timing here. So as you go further down, you can see the timing above my head, really. Just follow that line. So if you look at like the 4 p.m. line and you follow it down, Bancroft is in there by 4 p.m. Aurelia is pretty much in there around 4-ish. Owen Sound is probably in there by 4. That's when things are going to start to deteriorate and get worse and worse, likely. Pretty likely. The models look brutal. So let's see who else. So if we look at that weird dash line that has a weird kind of curve to it, looks like the strong squall is going to hit the Ottawa area around 6-ish. However, Ottawa is in the dark blue, which is localized blizzard, which means some areas might have blizzard conditions. Other areas might just be, heavy snow for a brief period of time. And that's also the dark areas, also including, I was going to say Kitchener, but you're actually in the orange. So nobody else is labeled there. London and Chatham, Sarnia, Windsor, and Leamington are all in the blowing snow as possible. So everybody's going to see the wind. Toronto's in the localized blizzard possible as well. But everybody's going to see the wind. That's the thing. So if there's snow to be blown around, then the conditions are going to be brutal. If there's no snow in your area, chances are it's going to be windy, but it may not be too significant with the snow. But again, we do have this giant squall line that's going to come down, and it's going to be like, it's going to be kind of like those summer events, where we get, remember like July 19th, 2013. I know that's random, but, get these big, sharp squall lines that come through and bring with them really strong wind gusts, but it all kind of like hits really fast. It's intense for a while, and then it stops. It's probably going to be like that for most people because it's just that big, long squall. Heather says, when is this coming in? So we're looking at the timing map right now. So this is tomorrow. We're all talking about tomorrow. We'll be starting in the morning to the north, and by the evening, down to Niagara by 8, 9 o'clock-ish, down to Hamilton by maybe 7, 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's a big, nasty squall that's going to be moving through the area, and the winds are going to be intense with this line. So it's kind of actually more like one of those classic summer events where we have a big, heavy, strong squall line that moves through. And normally we would have, in the summer, we would have, damaging wind gusts off those lines. We would have isolated tornadoes embedded there. We call them QLCS tornadoes. That type of thing would happen with those events in particular. But chances of a tornado tomorrow, probably zilch. But we always say it's unlikely. That's the term we like to use because crazier things have happened. You remember, we always talk about this one, but it's such a rare event, but it's so bananas. Is that I believe it again? It was November 23rd, 2013, or November 28th, 2013. It's one of those two. It was out in eastern Ontario, and there was an EF1 tornado at 0 Celsius. They said a burst of snow, and then the snow cleared up, and then there was a funnel cloud, and then it took out their silo, cut their silo in half, big grain silo, concrete all down, and then it just started snowing again. So is that common? No, it's incredibly rare. I've only ever been able to find maybe 1 or 2 events. One was in Oklahoma at around 0 Celsius. Incredibly, incredibly rare. But, we should probably keep an eye on radar tomorrow just in case. Just in case. But we'll see. Anyways, let's see here. So, yeah, but don't worry about tornadoes. Tornadoes are not the problem. But the damaging winds are a problem. So I've always said, when a storm is throwing a tree at you, you're not like, was that a tornado or a downburst? I wonder what it was. And you don't care. When trees are falling, you don't care. And we're going to take a look at the wind data, and it is strong. So could see some trees come down tomorrow because the winds are that strong. It's going to be intense. So, again, it's not a classic winter thing, but let's take a look at another map here. This is the wind gust forecast. So the strongest winds for sure are going to be probably where we saw those wind warnings, right? Prince Edward County, along the water, Niagara region, definitely. Niagara Falls, St. Catharines is in there. Dunnville's in there as well, too. Fort Erie. Those areas all the way down to southeast of Tillsonburg, those areas are going to be intense. And then, of course, the strongest areas that we see in the models right now is the escarpment area. So basically Collingwood down to Orangeville, that whole part of the escarpment where it's elevated, it's going to be super duper windy. That's where we're seeing some model data talking about 70 mile per hour gusts. Now, models sometimes be over the top. Not always, but sometimes they can be over the top. If you see 70 miles per hour on a model, then chances are, at the surface, maybe we get to 60, but even 60 miles per hour, that's above 90 kilometers an hour. And when you hit 90 kilometers an hour with wind gusts, you add some precipitation to that, that's when trees can come down. So it's going to be pretty intense. For other areas, the one step down from that. So the purple area is the worst, of course, as you can see. So Picton and Niagara Falls and Collingwood down to Orangeville. Then we talk about the kind of more red area, and that's 90 to 100. So the purple area, we're talking 100 to maybe 115 kilometers an hour is not entirely out of the question. So 62 to about 71 miles per hour is not entirely out of the question with those winds. And then we go down to 90 to 100 is possible. These are the maximum wind gusts that could be possible based on the model data. So are you going to see the maximum? It's possible not, but it's possibly not, but we'll see. You may. But, for Tobermory, Wyerton, Owen Sound, Kincardine, Hanover, Goderich, let's see who else here. Guelph, Kitchener, Hamilton, Brantford. Who else is in that? Parry Sound, Britt, of course. Kingston, Belleville, Brockville, and Cornwall. All of those areas could see 90 kilometer an hour wind gusts. So that's pretty intense. Those are some pretty strong winds, and it potentially could have trees coming down on power lines. You could have power outages as well too, maybe some lengthy ones. So that would not be good. And then we go to the orange areas, and we're talking about, let's see here, Sarnia, Grand Bend. St. Thomas is right on the edge. Leamington is right on the edge, but Leamington looks like it's in yellow, but right on the edge of the orange. Barrie, Newmarket, Peterborough, Oshawa, Toronto, Mississauga, Orillia, Bracebridge, Huntsville, Algonquin Park, North Bay, Sunridge, not Deep River, Manitoulin Island, and what else here? I said Peterborough already. I just said Cornwall. Okay. Yeah, those areas in orange, you're looking at 80 to 90 kilometers an hour as well, which could, 80 feels really intense. A lot of people think it's like super duper severe when they feel 80, but 80 is a little bit low on the threshold to actually bring down some bigger trees. It could bring down some small trees, it could bring down some branches, but for it to bring down some big trees, you're right on the edge of the threshold, but you never know. It's you could have some, sometimes when we have like 80 kilometer an hour wind gusts, we're like, we're probably not going to see any damage. And then some, old dying trees get knocked over, and that stuff happens. And those are still dangerous too. So we could see a little bit of wind damage in those areas. And then we go down to yellow. So yellow would be Deep River, Pembroke, Renfrew, Ottawa, Bancroft, Tweed. Who else here? Let's see. Woodstock, London, St. Thomas, Chatham, Windsor, and Leamington. Those areas, you might see 70 kilometers or a little bit higher. So probably not too much in the tree damage in those areas. Again, it's not entirely out of the question, but you could see some tree branches come down. You could have some power outages, and it's going to be. And if you've got any of those areas have snow, and it's able to be blown around, it's going to be pretty wild. So it's going to be a pretty wild situation. Brennan says we could actually see lightning with the squall. Forgot to mention that in the forecast. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Just like we recently saw that kind of that line moving in near Georgia Bay that had lightning. By the way, huge thank you to the Kath for the super chat on YouTube. Thank you for all the reports. You're very welcome. And the Kath again with a super sticker. Thank you so much. Oh, and out of nowhere, Matthew comes in. Any info for Sudbury tomorrow? Got exams. How the bus is looking? I think it's going to be pretty brutal in the morning for Sudbury area. You've got. Let's go up to actually Sudbury we'll jump back here to Instant Weather Pro and take a look at what Environment Canada is talking about. Winter weather travel advisory in effect, reduced visibility due to a combination of snow and blowing snow. Only 5 to 10 centimeters expected, but the wind gusts are going to be potentially 80 kilometers an hour for Sudbury. So Monday morning into Monday evening, hazardous travel conditions, a sharp cold front. Monday evening at the tail end of this event may lead to sudden weather conditions. So, but I'm pretty sure, I would think based on Brennan's timing there, that Sudbury could be not great in the morning. Let's jump back to that map again. Yeah, he's got Sudbury at, if you extrapolate between the 8 a.m. line and the 2 p.m. line, looks like Sudbury's probably in the morning, maybe late morning hours, where things start to begin to pick up to be pretty nasty. So it's hard to say, but maybe the buses will be running early in the morning. It's hard to say for sure. We'll see. Don't quote us on it, but it could be possible. Step over to the snowfall map, and I'm going to take a look at both the snowfall map for Southern Ontario and for Northeastern Ontario as well too. And so if we just take a look here at the snowfall map for Southern Ontario first, again, not massive totals here. We're expecting maybe 5 to 10 centimeters for Parry Sound, Britt, Orillia-ish, Deep River, as well as Hanover, Orangeville, Collingwood, Midland, and Owen Sound. Those areas maybe 5 to 10 centimeters in the purple. The 10 to 20 centimeters, so for North Bay, Sunridge, Huntsville, and Algonquin Park area, you could see 10 to 20 up there. So a little bit more snowfall to the northeast. And then if you go to the next level, which is that blue, 2 to 5 centimeters is expected. So it's basically a burst of snow when that squall line comes across the areas. We're not expecting that much for snowfall. So, most of the region, 2 to 5 centimeters. Down in southwestern Ontario, 0 to 2 centimeters. By the way, I want to clear something up. A lot of folks email us or they message us and they say, you said something about Southern Ontario, but then you mentioned Ottawa, or then you mentioned Barrie, or then you mentioned Niagara. But they're like, that's not Southern Ontario. Southern Ontario is like Windsor and London and yada, yada, yada. Just to clarify, Southern Ontario and Northern Ontario are the separation between basically, if I back up here and I show you on the map, basically the separation between, you can see my mouse here. Okay, good. So if I take off these radar icons, Northern Ontario starts about here and goes all the way up to Timmins, all the way over to Thunder Bay and Dryden and Kenora. So, and Sault Ste. Marie. So basically from the Manitoulin Islands and just north of Britt and south of North Bay and north of Deep River, I believe. Yeah, north of Deep River. So all of this is considered Northern Ontario. All of this is Northern Ontario. And all of this, so from Cornwall to Ottawa to Britt to Parry Sound to Tobermory in the Bruce Peninsula, all the way down to Windsor and, Chatham-Kent, all the way over to Niagara, through the GTA, through Central Ontario, all the way over to Eastern Ontario. That whole area, the umbrella name for all of this is called Southern Ontario. What these people are referring to, when I mentioned it in the email, they're always like, "Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry." I say, you're thinking of Southwestern Ontario. So Southwestern Ontario is from Windsor to London, all the way up to the Bruce Peninsula. This corridor here is Southwestern Ontario, not Southern Ontario. Southern Ontario is the whole thing, from Eastern Ontario to Central Ontario to the Golden Horseshoe to Southwestern Ontario. You put those four together, and the umbrella name for that is Southern Ontario. So just to clarify. And of course, you have Northeastern Ontario and Northwestern Ontario. And there's maps to clarify, to help clarify that. And we can post those as well too. But I just wanted to bring that up because we get so many messages about it. You're talking about Southern Ontario, but you mentioned Ottawa. It's like, no, Ottawa's still considered Southern Ontario. But the true name for this area is Eastern Ontario. So that's Eastern Ontario. Central Ontario includes Barrie and Muskoka and those areas. The Golden Horseshoe is Niagara and Toronto, and the GTHA basically. And then you have Southwestern Ontario. So just to clarify, if we say Southwestern Ontario, we're talking London, Windsor, Sarnia, yada, yada, yada. If we're talking Southern Ontario, we're talking Cornwall to Windsor, all the way up to Britt and Niagara, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully that clarifies if any folks were confused about that one. So, and we didn't invent that either. This is coming from Environment Canada. This is just like their kind of classification of different areas, different regions. So anyways, let's go back to the forecast maps here. I wanted to take a look at so snowfall, not that exciting. The winds, pretty exciting. And I do want to take a look at the Northern Ontario one. So give me a second here and I will just bring that up. I just have to switch an image and then we will have that for you. So let me see here. I had that loaded, but it went away for some reason. Where did my northern map go? Come back, northern map. There it is. Okay, perfect, cool. Excellent, but I'm completely in the way, so I'm going to remove my head from this and then transition over. There we go. Here is your northeastern. Oh, sorry, this is actually all of Northern Ontario. So here's your snowfall map. Sault Ste. Marie area and all the way up to Wawa, so 20 to 30 centimeters is possible on Brennan's map. And then we get into that kind of pinkish area, 10 to 20 centimeters. So Hearst, Kapuskasing, Cochrane, Timmins, Kirkland Lake, all the way down to North Bay. Basically, you're talking about 10 to 20 centimeters. Excuse me. And then Sudbury is in that 5 to 10 centimeter range, as well as, I believe, Elliott Lake is in there. It's hard to, oh no, Elliott Lake is in the blue, so they're in 2 to 5 centimeters as well. Manitoulin, basically in 2 to 5 centimeters. And then if you go to Northwestern Ontario, so from Fort Francis to Kenora, Dryden, all the way down to Thunder Bay, basically nothing to maybe 2 centimeters, and 2 to 5 centimeters for Sioux Lookout, Armstrong area as well. Yeah, so hopefully that kind of helps narrow things down. Now I'm going to bring up the map that everybody wants to see, especially in southeastern Ontario, in southern Ontario. See, I did it. I've done it now. I did it myself. Yeah, here is the Brennan's snow day forecast. Remember, we have, as you see at the very top of the map, we have zero authority with bus cancellations. This is our best guess based on the forecast. It's up to the companies. The bus companies is up to these school boards to decide if buses will be canceled. But as you can see, areas to the north, actually, Brennan's got it pretty cranked up for the Sudbury area up there. He's got Sudbury in red. So for the gentleman who's talking about his exams, he's got Sudbury in 75 to 90% chance of a snow day forecast, or of a snow day. So it doesn't look very promising for your buses up there. I mean, conditions are going to be brutal, so it kind of makes sense. If you look at, actually, Brendan's gone all the way up to 90 to potentially approaching 100%. We can't say 100%. You're actually, Brendan, we should change the legend from 90 to 99.9 because we can't say 100%. But yeah, you're looking at, so for North Bay, for East Parry Sound area, for the Parry Sound area, he's got you all in pink. And he says, well, it's 90 to 100%. Yeah, there's a range there, but still. Yeah, so he's got you all in pink, and that means let it snow. That means chances of a snow day in those areas are pretty high. In the red area, so 75 to 90% chance. You have to put your pajamas inside out if you want to be extra lucky, put your pajamas inside out. It is a superstition that we did not invent, but we have adapted for our maps. And so that's South Muskoka, North Muskoka. You've had a lot of snow days this year, have you not? You have, yeah. Patricia says, yep, 99.9% is in that range. That's correct, yes. Okay, fine. It looks fancy with your 100 on the map. Okay, and we're talking about as well Bruce Peninsula down to almost Owen Sound. So just the Bruce Peninsula area is in the 50 to 75, so flip a coin. That also includes the Halliburton area, I believe there. Yes, you are in the orange. And then yellow is 25 to 50% chance. If you cross your shovels, you might increase your chances potentially. That includes Renfrew, Pembroke, Petawawa, down to North Hastings. Let's see who else here. Simcoe North as well. Simcoe West, Meaford, I believe Owen Sound as well, Southampton, Kincardine, Hanover. All of those areas are in yellow, so maybe, probably not, but maybe. And conditions could be, if this squall hurries up a little bit, conditions could be brutal for those areas at the end of school. So that could be obviously just as dangerous. And then in blue, my son's not very happy about. Simcoe Central is in blue. Dufferin, Simcoe South, Goderich, Listowel. As you can see the whole map as well too. But I'll name some more areas. Peterborough, Renfrew, Arnprior, North Frontenac, and let's see who else here. Some of these labels are a little small on this particular screen that I'm looking at. But then south of that is green, so ho no is what Brendan said. 5 to 10% chance in the green area. So Ottawa down to areas just north of Toronto. He's got you as ho no, because most of that squall line is going to be moving through the evening. So let's go take a look at some of the model data now. Actually, wait, first I want to show you Environment Canada's forecast real quick. This is their latest forecast, and these forecasts typically require a little bit of explanation. There's a lot of arrows. There's some symbols you might not recognize, but they've got basically Owen Sound in the 90 kilometer an hour range here. They've got Huntsville in locally 20 centimeters of snow and 90 kilometers of wind. They've got gray across most of the region, saying basically a big swath, everybody from Windsor all the way to Ottawa. You could see, 80 kilometer an hour wind gusts. The strongest wind gusts are going to be 90 down here in Niagara, as expected, and up there towards Prince Edward County as well. But up here in the north, areas north of Sault Ste. Marie are going to be brutal up here. And Timmins is going to be pretty nasty too, with 15 centimeters and 80 kilometers an hour of gusts. So, and then to Sudbury, they talk about 5 to 10 centimeters and 70 kilometer an hour gusts. So we'll see. I'm just going to scroll. Yeah, just reading some of their details here. Lots of details to read, but let me keep going here. So I want to take a look at this as well too, because this is for Tuesday. So let's take a look at Tuesday. Tuesday, you could still see 5 to 10 centimeters for Owen Sound all the way up to Sault Ste. Marie, and 5 to 10 centimeters for Thunder Bay as well, and areas to the northwest. Other areas not expecting too much, but we could still see 5 to 10 centimeters on Tuesday for those areas, and the Bruce Peninsula and parts of Manitoulin Island. If I keep scrolling here, this is your outlook for Wednesday. So let's keep going through the week here. 5 to 10 centimeters are possible from Owen Sound through Barrie, through Peterborough, down to Prince Edward County, and through Collingwood, Midland as well too. Just this little swath of 5 to 10 centimeters are possible. Let's see what they talk about with that. And far northern Ontario, way up here, brutal cold what are they talking about there? Wind chill values of near minus 43 are possible up here. So Fort Severn area, it's going to get cold. It's going to get cold. Let's see here. At this point, the track of the low pressure system on Wednesday is unclear, and so that could change. And if we go down onto Thursday, the cold is going to start stretching from the north all the way down here. So Huntsville and I believe Petawawa, Pembroke would be in here, and Deep River, Timmins as well too, Moosonee. It's going to get cold all the way down to there. And they're talking about wind chill values near minus 45 are possible Wednesday night into Thursday morning for northeastern and parts of central Ontario. Yeah. Oh, sorry. For northeastern and central Ontario, cold temperatures, wind chill values between minus 35 to minus 40 are possible. Ooh, behind this cold front, it's going to get nasty. Anywho, oh boy. All right, that's enough of that. Let's look at something different. Let's look at the models and not think about the cold that's coming. And then after that, +1. Has anybody seen that? Let me know in the comments if you've seen that. If you've seen that clip where it's like, it's going to be so brutally cold, but then after the 5-day forecast, it's going to be +1. I think that was this hour is 22 minutes. It's amazing. Oh, by the way, thanks for becoming a new member of our YouTube community, Matthew. I appreciate it. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. Let me just jump into the comments here, and then it'll be +1. Okay. Thanks for joining us, everybody, in the live stream right now. I think we have 1,291 people watching, so I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. We're gonna try to do some more live streams if we can. We want to do more. But not just obviously in Ontario, we want to do more in Alberta. We want to do more in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, as many different places across the country as possible. Heather says, I think that was Rick Mercer. Oh, yeah. Was it not on this hour's 22 minutes, or is just the Rick Mercer show? Oh, okay. Yeah. Nightbird says, we have y'all here, but have a live stream for tomorrow? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure if we can do tomorrow, but I'll see. It could be interesting to track this squall line in real time. Could be interesting. Okay. So let's take a look at some of these models. So this is the US model. This is the HRRR model. And we're going to take a look at, here's the reflectivity. So this is like telling you when this big squall is going to come in. And you can see it right there. So the latest model data actually has it a little bit further to the evening. So this is about 4 o'clock here. So by 4, we've already got pretty brutal conditions through Britt and Parry Sound. Now, that doesn't mean this is when the wind is coming in. This is just when the squall line is coming in. But behind the squall line, it's going to get pretty darn windy. So I wonder if the American model has actually slowed things down a little bit. And then look how intense that line is. That is a pretty intense squall line. When it's going orange, that's pretty intense. But this is all the way by, this is about 7 o'clock at night. So this is 8. This is 9, 10, 11, 12. So most of that squall line's coming in pretty late overnight for areas to the southeast, at least based on the latest US model. But that might be behind. I found in the past, too, that the American model, the HRRR, is a little bit behind sometimes. You know, sometimes in the summertime, it'll say, you know, we're not getting storms. You know, the storm line isn't coming through until 7 o'clock, and then it shows up at 4. So that may be a little bit off, but we'll see. It might end up being that late, so we'll see. We'll have to see how that does play out. Let's take a look at the winds. Oh, boy. Here's the winds. We're going yellow. We typically don't see yellow. By the way, I just want to mention that we are on pivotalweather.com right now. We're using the Pivotal Weather models at pivotalweather.com. You can check out their stuff. But I mean, 72 miles per hour right here. Southeast of Collingwood, 72 miles per hour. That is somewhere north of 112, 113. So 72 is probably like 115-ish, maybe more, 117. Folks are usually pretty good at doing that doing the math in the comments. But yeah, so look at those winds. They're going to be ridiculous. Going to yellow, that's a problem. But they're starting early, so that's why the conditions are going to start deteriorating quite early. Let's see exactly what time it is. This is 7 a.m. So by 7 a.m., we're already seeing potentially, this on the model says 64 miles per hour wind gusts near the Collingwood area. Now, again, models are typically a little bit over the top, but I mean, even if that's 50, 55, like that's going to be so windy tomorrow morning in Collingwood. And we're already seeing strong winds there. And so the snow is going to be blowing pretty good across a good chunk of the region. And then as that continues to stretch through the day, so this was, if this was 7, this is 8. Let me do 8. Hold on. Let me get my keyboard. It'll be better. So that's 8. Here's 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Strong winds, gusts across the region pretty much at this point. 11, 12. There's already in Barrie, we're already talking about, what is that in Barrie? Hold on. Where was that? So Barrie's already going to have 57 mile per hour winds, which is what? Basically 90. We're close to 90 there. Maybe you're already 90. Pretty close to it. So almost 90 kilometer an hour winds are possible for Barrie by, what time did I say? By noon? Hold on a sec. Let me back up again here. So this was, I have to translate between UTC time because all these models are in UTC time, universal time. So I have to do it in my head. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So by noon, it's already going to be pretty brutal in Barrie and a lot of areas. I mean, south of Collingwood there looks horrible. Owen Sound looks brutal. Anywhere you see, I mean, basically anywhere across the region, it's already going to be so windy. But in those areas, it's going to be like borderline dangerous windy. If not, maybe some trees coming down. Someone said, hold on a second. How is this not creating massive lake effect snow? Well, the lakes are starting to freeze, but this is a giant squall. So there will be a giant squall from this. So it is creating a giant squall. But that was noon. Here's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, rock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I'll stop. Can't help myself. And then it starts to finally die down overnight. Look at that. That is quite the animation of wind. Oh boy. It is going to be windy, folks. Yellow. You don't see yellow very often. Look how windy it is at 7 o'clock in Prince Edward County. 60 mile per hour. Mike says, how bad is it going to suck in Guelph tomorrow? It's going to be more of a blow, like a blow than a suck. Like a tornado would be like a suck, but this is more like a gust front. So it's going to be like more of a blow. But it's going to blow in Guelph tomorrow for sure. The storm's going to blow. Yeah. It's going to be pretty brutal. That made Brendan laugh. Of course it did. Okay. Let's see here. No, I see, Brendan. I understand. Of course your mind did. Okay. Yeah. So this is happening tomorrow, folks. That. From that to that. It's going to be nasty. Let's take a look at the snowfall on the HRR model. Again, nothing too exciting. Some of the biggest snowfall amounts might be kind of here, Wasaga Beach, maybe, down to, I guess, probably Stayner-ish, 13 inches or so. That's not bad. 30 centimeters. We'll see if that happens, but yeah, it could bring a decent amount of snow just south of Lake Huron and just south of Georgian Bay. But overall, we're not seeing anything too intense. Oh, Brendan says it's lake effect. Oh, that's the lake effect snow on Tuesday. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I went way further in the model. My bad. Oh, okay. Yeah. So actually, this is by the end of the day right there. Yeah. See, the snowfall tomorrow is like not that much at all. And then here's the lake effect that's that lake effect we saw on the Environment Canada forecast map for Tuesday. So that's Tuesday evening right there. Okay. Yeah. So that's coming on Tuesday. So someone was saying, how come winds this strong are not going to bring lake effect snow? They are. And it's that. We're going to see that. So we are going to see some lake effect from this. But overall, the snowfall totals are not that intense for most areas. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's by the end of Tuesday for snowfall. This is by the end of Monday. So not that much. Just a burst of snow from that squall line. And that's basically it. But yeah, once again, this is pivotalweather.com. Pivotalweather.com. And they have some great model data that we subscribe to. They're excellent. And Jeff says that Kuchera 10-1. No, so that's Kuchera. I typically look at Kuchera. We can take a look at 10-1 as well too. Let me just do that quick. Just the different ways of comparing model data. And here's the 10-1, which is obviously in this case showing lower totals, only maybe 6 inches southeast of Georgian Bay on Tuesday. But yeah, the ratios are probably quite high because you see a difference between 6 and 13. So yeah, looks like pretty high. Okay, so let's head over to the Canadian model. Oh, do we have the 0Z? Oh, we have a little bit of it, but we don't have much. Okay, so we'll have to look at the 18Z. Okay, so here is, why am I looking at temperature? Precipitation. There we go. Okay. It's not as well defined here. We don't get to see a nice, this is more like this is 6 hour averages. So we don't get to see that sharp line. I don't know why Pivotal doesn't have composite reflectivity. Maybe they do. Check. One sec. Let me scroll this map around for a second here. No, they don't. That's too bad. No, they don't. Winter weather, what do they got? They got nothing. All right. That's too bad. That's the one thing they're maybe missing potentially for the HRDPS model. We'd be able to see that sharp squall line come in. But yeah, they're saying it's not really coming until the evening as well too. So maybe the timing has changed. Maybe it is more towards the evening. But the strong winds are going to come early. So blowing snow is is happening early. Regardless of that squall line coming through, the blowing snow is going to happen early because of the wind gusts. So let's take a look at the wind. So here's the winds on the Canadian model. And let's see how they look compared to the American. Oh boy, lots of yellow. Not as much though. The American model definitely looks stronger. The winds looked the strongest actually up here in the Bruce Peninsula near Wyerton, Owen Sound area, talking about 62, 63 miles per hour, which is, 96 kilometers an hour. Again, you can't take models at face value, but we're talking really strong wind gusts with this system. So everything's going to be blowing around big time. So it's going to be pretty intense. There could be isolated areas where we do see some wind damage. Down here, actually, in the Niagara region, 68 miles per hour on the Canadian model. And then in Picton, we see quite a strong one as well. Excuse me. Again, I'm just getting over a 5-day cold. It's been a total man cold. I've just been sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. So kudos to my lovely wife for all her help. I've been sleeping. I've been trying to. It's been tricky. Sore muscles and coughing and razor blades in my throat. It was like brutal. But anyways, but I'm feeling better today, so it's good. I'm glad I'm past it, and I'm glad my son he was on antibiotics for the pneumonia. We had to actually, not to get too deep in the weeds, but he woke up. It was really weird. He woke up and said he felt really heavy that morning, the Wednesday morning. He woke up and said he felt really heavy. And we're like, what? And then he collapsed, and my wife caught him just as he fell to the ground. And then we're like, oh, he must just be really dizzy. And then he broke out in hives across his entire body. I'm talking entire body. His legs were covered. His eyes started to swell up. We're just like, oh my goodness. We were like terrified. I'm sure you could hear it in our voices. And like, we're just like, we live 5 minutes from the RVH. So we just like got him together, threw him in the car, and just like drove him as fast as we could over to the Royal Victoria Hospital. We got to the RVH at 7 in the morning. There was literally nobody there. There was nobody in the waiting room, and there was nobody in the fishbowl. Anybody who knows the RVH hospital, nobody in the waiting room, nobody in the fishbowl. I'm like, great timing. Great timing. Anyways, the doctor was just like, it's an allergic reaction to the virus. I didn't know that's possible. I didn't know you could have hives as an allergic reaction to a virus. But he did want to do a chest x-ray, and that did show a minor pneumonia. And anyways, once we got some Benadryl into him and we got fluids into him, we got some antibiotics into him, he's popped back. He's doing great, running around with his head cut off. He's having a great time. So, yeah. But that was wild. That was wild. I've never, like when his eyes started to swell up and puff up, that was pretty scary. But anyways, yeah, we didn't have any Benadryl at home. So we're going to always have that at home now, just in case. But autoimmune response, says Catherine. Yeah, it's been pretty wild. Teresa says, been there, done that. Oof. Yeah, that was pretty wild. That was pretty scary. Yeah, lucky it went away so quick. Yeah, it actually started to dial back. Even before he got the Benadryl. His hive started to come down and all that stuff. So anyways, never seen anything like that. But let's go take a look at the snowfall totals from the Canadian model. And that is the end of Monday there. So again, nothing too much, but quite a bit of snow east of Georgian Bay there. And then as we scroll into the end of Tuesday, or at least by Tuesday afternoon, we're starting to see those squalls. Put some snowfall down. Southeast of Georgian Bay there, and as well in parts of southwestern Ontario, and obviously heavier snowfall totals by Huntsville, Bracebridge, up into Algonquin Park and North Bay areas. So yes, so there's that. Urbanator says, can I show the wind in the north? I can, but I'll have to take off the labels here. Let me take off the labels, and then I can switch this to What am I? I'll switch this to Eastern Canada, I think would be the zoom. And I'm going to have to actually zoom this way out to make sure you can see here. Let me go back to the wind here. Okay, we'll take a look at the wind for the north. So, yeah, up here would be, there's not many labels here, but so this is Southern Ontario here. This would be Sudbury-ish here. So Sudbury talking, 71 kilometers per hour. This is actually in kilometers per hour, which is much nicer. But, and this is, Monday morning. Monday morning talking about, I saw some of them in the 80s there. And yeah, the strongest winds are definitely going to be in the south, but northeastern Ontario is going to see some pretty gusty, strong winds up in here. So lots of blowing snow as possible. And for those areas getting snowfall, like areas near Sault Ste. Marie and to the north, it's going to be pretty nasty. So yeah, so there's that. Let's go back once more to Brennan's timing map. And yeah, so the blizzard conditions can start potentially earlier, like they show on this map, just because of the wind gusts. The wind gusts are going to get pretty strong in the morning. But when that squall comes through, it's going to be pretty nasty for areas in the evening. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for the forecast. Let me just jump in the comments here and say hi to everyone. Hybrid stream, says Nightburn. We might be able to pull that off. We'll see. Let's see here. Donna says, sounds like you have RSV. It's a nasty bug. It's funny because my brother actually brought back from Germany. There was actually these multi-tests. They had COVID, flu A and B, and RSV. And the day before Emmett went to the hospital, he was really snotty and stuff. And we decided to try one of those tests. And we tried it, and all three of those were negative. So it wasn't COVID, it wasn't flu A or B, and it wasn't RSV. We know RSV for us. Our son has been hospitalized for RSV before, and in those cases, he's like pulling in, he's sucking his trachea, he's pulling in his ribs. That has been pretty brutal. But no, this didn't seem like that at all. This just seemed like more like a brutal cold. But yeah, it tested negative for all of those. So it's just another brutal cold, I guess. I don't know, but it was rough. I've got some friends down in the U.S. that say there's some of the stuff down there is happening. The schools are being shut down. There's so much sickness happening down there right now. So, eek. Yeah. Your son is a trooper, says Liv. I'll let him know. Yeah, he's not happy that I'm not putting him to bed tonight, but I was like, Daddy's got a live stream. So, and thankfully he doesn't have his iPad, so he's not commenting on my account as he's done in some live streams. So, anywho, I normally play a song for you at this point. But I don't know if my voice is going to hang. Brennan says, I think you banned him anyways. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I banned him. He's always asking me, he's like, why did you ban me? Why did you ban me? I'm like, because you can't comment on a live stream from my personal account while I'm doing the live stream. Because people think it's me and you're just like, hi, Dada. I mean, obviously they figured it's him at that point, but still, you never know what he's going to type. So, anywho, so yeah, I normally sing a song, but well, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. If there's no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. All right, that's it. That's the only song I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing Christmas songs. People are gonna get mad. They're like, it's January, Adam, stop. Huge thank you again. Please give a huge thank you to Brendan for these maps. I mean, look at these maps. Like, look at this one. Look at this one. I mean, look at that. Look at this. I already got that. I already did that. Look at this one. I mean, these maps are amazing. Brennan is busting his hump. So huge thank you to Brennan. Huge thank you to Alan as well, too. She's working super hard, keeping everything tip-top around here, and obviously doing great forecasts as well. Huge thank you to Patricia and Lindsay and Liam and Teresa and Miranda and I'm going to forget people. Oh, no. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to forget people because I have this trick where I just open up our team chat and I open up chat members and I go through the list. Here we go. So huge thank you to Alana, Brennan, Cody, Cole, D, Dominic, Kyle. There's two Kyles. Kyle D, Kyle K, Leslie, Liam, Lindsay, Matt, Miranda, Patricia, Sarah, Teresa, and anybody else who I forgot that doesn't happen to be in this particular team chat. Jason, Ryan, everybody else. So huge thank you to everyone on the team. Huge thank you to and a huge thank you to our Twitch mods as well too. I believe Miss Esri is one as well. I believe Melissa B13 is helps moderate as well too. All that kind of stuff. So Ingrid said no Christmas. Colleen said great voice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's the song I thought about off the top of my head. So anyways, huge thank you to the team. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to all those who have subscribed to become YouTube members. We really, really appreciate it. All those who have subscribed to Instant Weather Pro, which you can do at instantweatherpro.com. Everybody who's subscribed to have extended future radar on our free app as well too. But anybody who uses our app, we appreciate you as well too. So we just did a huge update tonight to hopefully increase the speed. Brendan, I forgot to ask you, I think I maybe asked you earlier, but how was the speed for that push notification? Was it pretty good? Because I think we increased the number of instances to 1,000. We can run 1,000 different instances, and we took out some of the limitations that we had before. So Brendan's going to take a look at what the timing was. It should have been pretty darn fast tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate NKGAGNE. Actually, let me know as well too in the comments when you got the push notification for our live stream from our free app Instant Weather. By the way, please don't download our free app Instant Weather. You can get it at instantweatherapp.com. It is free. And then when we go live, we'll do push notifications, or when we put out forecasts, all that kind of stuff. You can get that. Let's see here. Dominic says, I use Instant Weather on my iPad, and on my iPhone, I use the Weather Network. I mean, you know what? We're just happy to be part of the conversation. I think it's great to compare. There's times where I compare. I look at some different apps and I look at ours. I think it's just great to see different perspectives on the same forecast, because if every single forecast says the exact same thing, your confidence is higher. If every single forecast says something different, then you're like, I don't know what's going to happen. That's how these things go. 59 minutes ago, that's great. But I'm trying to think, you have to figure out exactly when we pushed it. So Brendan says, can't tell. It was over an hour ago, but I remember it being fast. Okay, cool. And Brendan's got literally every location in Canada added to the app. So he would know if it was fast. So cool. Let's see here. Yeah. Melissa says, it's always good to use multiple apps to verify info. Sometimes it's hit or kiss with some, I think she meant miss. Maybe she meant kiss with some of them, especially TBUN in my experience. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have both, because no system's perfect. There's times where, there's very rare times where we've had problems with our notifications. There's very rare times where the Weather Network has had problems with their notifications, where Environment Canada has. If you have multiple ways of getting notified, then you have multiple different systems. It's best that those systems are independent of each other, because if one of them goes down, the other, and then something that we add on top of that is we send out custom notifications. So in the case of reported tornado, or the case of strong rotation on radar, we send out rotation detected, or tornado potential, or tornado reported from our reporting group. We've got the largest reporting group across Canada, our Alberta, our Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. You add those up, and we're somewhere in the probably 600,000 people reporting weather to us across Canada, maybe more. And so we have that huge pool of incredible reports coming from this amazing community that we can leverage, and we can get the word out instantly, and hence Instant Weather. And we try to do everything as quickly and as accurately as we possibly can. So it's nice to be able to get those notifications. For example, the Barrie tornado in 2021, a lot of folks got our rotation detected minutes before they got the tornado warning. And so it's nice to have both. Sometimes Environment Canada's on the ball, and before I even see something on radar, they've already tornado warned it, or they get a report and they tornado warn it, which is great. This is amazing. And then there's other times where who knows why they can be delayed. And in those cases, we send out something like rotation detected or tornado potential. So we have our own notifications that we can complement Environment Canada with. And I think between the two systems, I think we're better off than just one system, because one system is never perfect. So it's nice to have two. But anyways, yeah. So that's a good reason to have our free app, and you can get it at instantweatherapp.com. So yeah, that's my rant. That's all I've got. Thanks for joining my TED Talk. Let's see here. Okay. Thank you so much for all your comments. I appreciate it. We'll do a push notification test. So if you do have our free app, we'll do a test probably maybe tomorrow. Yeah, maybe tomorrow we'll do a test. Maybe we'll do it on the live stream, do a test and see exactly when everybody gets their notifications. So the fact that it worked today, though, and everybody got their notifications means the changes we just did are good. And I think it's about time we do a big old fancy push test. And we tell everybody we're going to do it exactly at whatever o'clock, for the afternoon or something like that. We're going to do it at whatever o'clock. And then we'll post a survey as well, too, to the app. And so fill out the survey and let us know exactly what time you receive that notification. So Jennifer Rotten says, I didn't get a notification. Do you have our free app, Jennifer? I think Brennan pushed it across southern Ontario, so it should have been from like Cornwall to Windsor, from Britt all the way down to Toronto in the GTA. Joe said, do you mind showing the snow map again for southern GTA? I wasn't able to view it clearly. Oh, sure, yeah. Where did it go here? I think it was here. Yes, this one right here. Yeah, not much for those areas. Maybe nothing to 2 centimeters for Niagara and Toronto area. And then in the blue, so that's kind of like the bluish green, like the baby blue. And then we get to the darker blue, it's 2 to 5 centimeters. So we're not expecting that much as far as snowfall is concerned. Yes. Let's see here. Debbie randomly says, nice voice. Got my notification. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Debbie. Dottie says, yes, got the app warning, then the YouTube notification. Okay, perfect. Uh-oh. Did I mess up your name again? Sorry, Jennifer. It is Rotten, not Rotten. Roten, not Rotten. Can you phonetically spell it for me? Can you spell it out? I'm saying it wrong. If Alana was here, she would totally be like, no, it's this. Is it Roten? I see. Rotten would be 2 T's, so it's Roten. Jennifer Roten. Okay. I hope I'm saying that right. But so you do have our free app, but you didn't get the notification. Yeah, you might want to maybe, if that ever happens, you might want to maybe delete the app and reinstall it, and then make sure you allow notifications. Sometimes that can be the easy fix. I got a notification. I got a notification on YouTube. Oh, okay. Yeah, but if you do have our free app, Instant Weather, and for some reason you didn't get a notification you should have, you might want to consider deleting the app and reinstalling it. That can be helpful in those particular cases. So, Kathy says, you saved me that Christmas. Only real info available. Please be in Long Point tomorrow for the wind event. My last name is R-O-T-N. Roten? Oh, Roten. Patricia says R-O-W-T-I-N. Is that right? Roten? Jennifer, let me know, because you're always on our live stream and I don't want to mispronounce it. Is it Roten? Routen? Oh, Roten is right. Roten. Oh, okay. Roten, yes. I'm sure, I have a feeling you've probably dealt with people mispronouncing your last name your whole life, so I don't want to add to that brutalness. So, Roten. Okay, Roten. If you want to phonetically spell it for somebody, add the W to it. R-O-W. So it's like row and then ten. Yeah, Roten. Perfect. Dominic says I downloaded Instant Weather on my iPhone 13. Perfect. I'm still rocking an iPhone 13 Pro. The battery's starting to lose it on there, and my memory's so full on there now, it's ridiculous. I'm like, okay, what photos am I going to delete to add new photos? It's about time. It's like a 128 and the thing is pinned. Oh boy. Amar says Instant Weather app is a 10 out of 10 would recommend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We have some really cool updates coming to it too. We want to improve the radar data. There's a lot of stuff. And Instant Weather Pro is going to be coming to the Instant Weather app. I know we've been saying that for a while, but we're deep in testing and it's going well. So yeah, we want to do that by spring. So we're working hard on it. That is the plan. That is the plan. Again, Jennifer, if you spell it out in just letters, it doesn't really phonetically spell it. It just still says the letters. But if you spell it R-O-W-T-I-N, like if you try to phonetically spell it for somebody, here, I'll do it in the comments here. If you do R-O-W-T-I-N, like Patricia just did for me, it made it a lot easier. Roten. I think it's better that way. Yeah. But anyways, just to help people sound it out. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Yeah. So Roten. Yeah. Row, like row your boat gently down the stream. Okay. I think I'm probably going to, at that point in time, I think I'm going to shut down the stream. Thank you so much, Brendan, for your help. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Lana and Lindsay and Teresa and again Miranda and Liam and Kyle and all the different members of the team. Cody as well too is very involved. It's great. So no, Jennifer, we know that's how you spell it, but we're talking about if you phonetically spell it, then it helps people sound it out. So you can say it's spelt ROTIN, but it sounds like ROW-TIN. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's phonetically spelling it. It's allowing people to sound it out better. But you're right. It's not TTIN. Exactly. Anyways, all right. That's enough about Jennifer's name. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. And tomorrow's going to be nasty. So I don't know. Just the fact that I just looked at some of those models and it showed me that there's going to be like 50 plus mile per hour winds in Barrie at noon. Might have to keep the little guy home for another day. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like. What it looks like in the morning. I don't know. Makes me think that the chance of bus cancellations are a little bit higher, Brennan. I don't know. We'll see. 50 something mile per hour winds. So like 80 kilometer an hour winds at noon in Barrie. What do you think, Brennan? You think there's maybe higher than 25% chance? I might have to I swear, if you could all see our team chat, I mean, I've told the team, I'm like, I want to make our team chat just live so everybody can just see our team chat all the time. And they're all like, no, don't do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it. We'll be canceled instantly. We'll all be canceled instantly if you saw our team chat. Oh, you don't want to know what Brendan wrote. Anyways, okay. I mean, you do, but you don't. Anyways, it is hilarious. So it actually makes my day great to they're shy, says Heather. They're not that shy in the team chat. I'm telling you, they're not that shy. But they just don't want everybody to see the madness that occurs in our team chat. Our UKOS says Patreon bonus. See the team chat. You know, that can be something. That could be something. Brendan says, what part of my behavior suggests you want this publicly accessible? It's good times. We've had some good times over the years. It's been a blast. So anyways, Brendan commented, I'm innocent. Canadian Carper says Snownado. Maybe, you know what that might be? You know what? This might be an exciting live stream tomorrow. We'll actually watch Velocity and be like, let's see. Somebody wanted the wind map here. I think it was Gail. Let me see. Where did the wind map go? Come back, wind map. I don't know where it went. What have I done? Is that it? No, that's not it. Is this it? No, that's the blizzard map. Maybe this one? Where did it go? I lost it. No, that's not that one. This one? I had it. At the start of the forecast, I had it, but now it's gone. Anyways, it's you can find it on our website. Kathy said, just give me your answer, Long Point. You mean, am I going to be at Long Point? No, I'm definitely not going to Long Point. I'm not going anywhere anymore. I'm still trying to get better from my sickness. I'm doing better. That's good. Good Water says, what models do you use to forecast the winds? We use pivotalweather.com, and there's a bunch of different ones. You can look at the HRRR. You can look at the HRDPS. You can look at the NAM. You can look at all the different cams, all the different convective allowing models. And a lot of them have wind gusts. On Pivotal, I think you actually have to have a subscription to be able to get the 10 meter wind gusts on a lot of different models, but it should be free for like the HER and different ones as well. So we'll see. We will see. Let's see here. Oh, Kathy, you're asking about the winds for Long Point. They're going to get strong. They're going to get quite strong, actually. But they will be more in towards probably the evening hours. Actually, I can just show you the winds. I can show you the winds on the models here. Even though I can't find them there, I can pull them up on the models. So let me just do it quick. I've already ruined my whole setup here. Hold on, let me put that back to, I think it was 150. Let me put the labels back on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And let's go back to the wind. There we go. Okay. So the wind at Long Point, I believe this is Long Point down here, right? Yes. This long thing is Long Point. That's right. I always wonder about the Leamington area, but no, that is Long Point down here. Okay. So, the winds are really going to start cranking it up. They're going to begin in the morning, and they're going to get really nasty by the afternoon. begin in the morning and get pretty darn nasty by the afternoon. And then they're going to die off in overnight. So morning, afternoon, and evening for you. And then overnight is going to die off for that particular area. What did I do? Oh, I opened up a sounding. Okay. Yeah. So hopefully that helps, Kathy. It's going to get pretty nasty. The winds, I saw them up to about 50 miles per hour. So you're probably in the 80 kilometer an hour wind gusts, maybe more. You could get up to 90. So we'll see. But it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you so much, everyone. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Thanks again to the team. Yeah, don't worry, Brendan. I won't make the team chat live anytime soon, even though I desperately want to, but I don't think I'm going to. So anyways, thank you so much, everyone. Have yourself a wonderful evening. And did I miss something? Did I miss a super sticker? No, I saw that super sticker there from the Cath. Thank you, the Cath. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you to Mike and Matthew again for all the wonderful super chats. We appreciate it. And again, thank you to everybody. And please be safe tomorrow. Watch out for flying debris and watch out for down tree limbs or tree limbs coming down. Just pay attention to anything that's above you tomorrow. If you have to be outside, look around and be like, could that fall on me? Could that tree fall on me? Look around and pay attention to that stuff. Don't be looking down, be looking up. So anyways, yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. We will talk to you